Good evening, and welcome to the December 2nd, 2024 Town Hall meeting. It's now 7 p.m., and we are now in session. I'm going to call the roll. Commissioner Rutledge,
Here.
Commissioner Chismar,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor,
Here.
and Commissioner Chance.
Here.
All right, everybody's here, and please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first thing on our agenda this evening is the approval of the agenda. May I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move to approve the agenda for this evening's meeting, December the 2nd, 2024, at 7 p.m. at the Bel Air Town Hall.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Any discussion of the agenda? All right, Mr. Krantz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. For approval of this evening's agenda, Commissioner Rutledge, how do you
Aye.
vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar?
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Chance?
Aye.
And Chair Edding.
Aye.
Tonight's agenda is approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the approval of the minutes. May I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meetings held on November 12th, 2024 and November 18th, 2024 be approved as submitted.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. Any discussion of the minutes? All right, Mr. Krantz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. For approval of the minutes of the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners, November 12th and November 18th, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
I'll abstain since I was not here for the 12th meeting.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Thank you.
All right. First on our agenda, we have the presentations, the certificates of recognition for the Department of Public Works donation drive for hurricane relief to western northern North Carolina. And so if Jolie Long, Chrissy Mullaney, and Kathy Pierce will join me at the podium. All right. This is on. Okay. That twice? Ah, there we go. All right. At any rate, I think we're at the photo stage. All right. You guys want to come down and join us here? We're going to stand here, and David will tell us exactly where to stand. If you three could stand sort of in the middle, generally under the town of Bel Air sign.
Yeah, we can have these in the middle, and then do you have the proclamations on the certificate?
You want all three?
So, Madam Chair, if I may, I did make phone contact with Howard McComas. Actually, Howard and his family are on their way back from North Carolina today from delivering the products and goods. So they had hoped to be here to congratulate our folks, but he sends his best wishes, and he was trying, but obviously didn't make it.
Well, he certainly is putting all his efforts where they belong. And
Absolutely.
I'm sure that all of you know how much they appreciate your efforts. So thank you again. All right, so next on our list is the Derby Trophy presentation by the Bel Air Lions Club. So I will let them have the podium.
I have a prop. Good evening. I'm Dave Gazage for the Bel Air Lions, and we are pleased to host the Bel Air Town Derby for the community. Almost 2 years ago, this idea was started to try to bring back soapbox derby racing to Bel Air. Bel Air had soapbox derby races in the 1960s and hadn't been happening since. So we went to work, and our first derby event was in October of '23. We had 10 cars. Several businesses stepped up, and we started it with 10 cars. That was so successful, by the time our June 24 event, we had 20 cars. And we had to extend the permit with the town to get the Main Street longer, because we had 20 cars. This next May is going to be our third derby, and we're looking at having 28 cars racing. It's been a tremendous community event. So many businesses and individuals have stepped up to make this possible. It's really been a true community event. We've had a tremendous partnership with the town staff and with the Bel Air Town Alliance. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of work, but a lot of fun, and a lot of people involved in it. An example of that, we take a lot of volunteers. We need a lot of volunteers for this event. And out of the blue, we had one volunteer contact us and said, hey, I'd be glad to help. I have some familiarity with soapbox derby racing. I go, really? Wow, that's great. Well, it turns out she raced as a kid for many, many, many years. Her dad's very involved in soapbox derby racing. And our race director volunteer is Michaela Quinton. Fell out of the sky for us. We didn't know how to do this stuff. She's been guiding us the whole step of the way. So now I want to turn it over to Amy and Michaela to make the presentation.
Okay. All right. Thank you, commissioners, for giving us this time. We thought it would be a great forum to be able to make this presentation of our award. So our award is going to be passed down to each Derby winner. So if I could please have Joe and his son, Blake, come up. Joe is with Hartford Retirement Planner. They were probably one of the first 3 people that when they heard about the Town Derby, they signed right up and they said, we're going to be part of this event. So Joe, we want to congratulate you on your win. And you get to keep this award until the next Derby, and then if you win it again, you get it for another year. So-
If I may, one fun fact about the trophy. The top card that's on there, you see the top card that's there? That is one of our Lions. We talk about people stepping up. One of our Lions, when he was a kid, 9, 10, 11 years old, raced midget cars in Pennsylvania. 55 years ago, he won a trophy that had that car on top. So he gave us that car off of one of his trophies to add now to the Bel Air Town Trophy.
So Joe, you'll keep this in your office, right? Or Blake, is it going in your bedroom?
We'll talk about it after dinner.
So Joe, can you maybe tell us what it means to you about being in the Town Derby, why you joined the Town Derby?
Sure.
If you could go up to the podium.
Does the top come off of this?
No.
Like a Stanley Cup thing? Blake's eating a cereal in the morning after? No. Okay.
If I see pictures of Blake eating cereal,
Well, yeah, so growing up in Bel Air, a lot of memories that I've made, just all the parades, of this, that. Obviously, I'm a big 4th of July parade. I have the office right on Main Street. And so it means a lot making memories. And now having kids of my own, Blake's the oldest, and there's 2 more, Grayson and Piper. Making those memories again with the kids is very special to me and kind of the next generation coming up and appreciating town. The Soapbox Derby was an amazing event. I got so excited. You may not know this, I'm a little bit competitive. So, cars, kids, town coming out, I'm like, this is awesome, let's do it. And we had a lot of fun building it. Sometimes I'll get the question, Joe, since we had success this year, did you do something to the wheels or did you add some weight? And I said, no, I absolutely would have, except the rules were pretty clear and there were judges everywhere, so we had to win fair and square. But it was funny. So the first year, Blake wasn't old enough yet, but he was chomping at the bit to get in that car and run down Main Street. So we had a friend of ours who we borrowed his daughter. We also crashed the car the first race, but she was fine, and so was the car, just as important. So that didn't deter Blake. He was like, I saw that thing crash the first time, but I'm still getting in there. We're going for it. And it was so much fun. I know as a parent watching your son win something like that, it means 10 times more than anything that we would do, ourselves. And watching him hold up the first version of the trophy on the championship stand, it was a very special moment for me, for Blake, for our family, for everybody around. And I appreciate the opportunity for an event like this and to be able to make these memories, with the town and with my family. It's just amazing. It's a great place to raise a family. So thank you for all the support in this event. And hopefully next year we can defend our title. Pressure's going to be on, more cars, but we're up for it, and we'll have fun either way. Do you want to say a couple things? All good? Usually he's a talker, so he was grabbing the microphone from Christy Breslin at the race. But thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. It means a lot.
do you want to get a picture with us? Oh my goodness, Joe.
Gavin around here.
If you don't mind, I'd like to say that event is amazing, and watching it is amazing. But also the amazing part for me personally is knowing that if it wasn't for the Bel Air Lions Club, it wouldn't have happened. And the energy, the time, the effort that goes into putting on an event like that is phenomenal, and I have to congratulate the Lions Club for doing it.
You know, I remember the races in the 60s, and it just kind of makes me a kid again, just coming down Main Street and watching the cars go down the street, and the crowds roaring, and it just brings you back to the simpler times. And thank you, the Lions Club, for bringing it back, and to all the contestants that came, the 20 cars, and for the future for the 28 cars. So, wonderful job. Thanks.
I'm waiting for the adult version. Why don't we get to have that kind of fun? I was a little jealous. I think that Blake has inherited his father's competitive spirit. I look forward to the race next year to watch you defend your title. And the race has got everything. It's got crashes, it's got races, it's got close calls. So, great time. May 18th. May 18th, which was a good pick. I remember last year it was a little warm. Just a little, just a little. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Well, thank you so much to the Lions Club, and congratulations to Blake again. All right. Under new business, we have Resolution 1242-24, Town of Bel Air Fee Schedule Amendments. May I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that resolution number 1242-24, amending the town's fee schedule, be received by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. All right, Mr. Klein, I think this is your presentation.
Mr.
Oh,
Krantz.
it's Mr. Kranz's presentation. I'm sorry, the rest of it, I think, is Mr.
Oh,
Klein's.
sir, I may, I may end up having to ask Mr. Klein for some help, but let me get it started, and we'll see if you have any questions. So this is an amendment to the Town of Bel Air fee schedule. The town code authorizes the Board of Commissioners to establish fees for certain services, publications, documents, licenses, petitions, and so on and so forth. The town's last fee schedule was amended in June of 2024, and the amendments that you see to this fee schedule are a lot. We haven't really amended this many, but I'm going to explain why in a minute. There's a few amendments here that are recommended by the town staff, and let me cover those first. There's a new description that's recommended for the tax sale advertising fee. There's a new fee requested or recommended for legal review of development requirements, as well as an update to the billing and construction management fee. That's about it from the town staff's recommendations. But there's about 22 changes to our fee schedule that are the result of Harford County government's increase in multiple building permit fees. And you'll see those outlined in the resolution itself. And for those watching from home, the resolution 1242-24 is available on the town's website on the legislation page, where you can download it and take a look at it if you want to see those in greater detail. But in a summary, the Harford County government's fees, changes to their fees will take effect on January 1st, 2025. So we're recommending that these go into effect now, just a week or two in advance of that, so we're prepared for those changes in the Harford County fee schedule. The things that you'll see in the resolution itself are building permit fees and other related fees, to include commercial and industrial institutional related fees, utilities, public or private, and commercial tenant occupancy certificates. You'll see changes in the group R for R1, R2, R3, and R4 residential buildings, 1 and 2 family dwellings, hotel buildings, dormitory buildings, assisted living, multifamily apartments, condominiums, individually owned as well as rental units. You'll see changes in the additions or alterations sections for decks, porches, balconies, club basements, structural occupant structures such as room additions, residential accessory buildings, sheds, and even pellet stoves, sump pumps, water, basement gutter, foundation repair. Under miscellaneous, you'll see changes in commercial residential retaining walls, tanks above ground, underground, demolition without a separate permit, swimming pools, hot tubs, amendment to permit applications before an issued permit, and amendment revised building plans after an issued permit. So those are the categories that you see changes in, and again, this resolution is to align the town's fees with the Harford County government's changes. There will be a public hearing held on Monday, December 16th, 2024 at 7 p.m. here at Town Hall, in case anyone from the public would like to come in and make a statement regarding these fees. But the staff recommends that the board receive these for review and the public hearing and the vote on December 16th.
Mr. Krantz, you mentioned that the Harford County fees don't go into effect until January 1st. Would the town not collect the Harford County fees at the level that they are proposed to increase to until January 1st, or would we start doing that on December 16th?
I imagine we can definitely do that. How we would pass the legislation is another question, maybe adding a date. Is there a staff recommendation?
I would like to make the recommendation that if anything comes in between now and January 1st, we just continue to utilize the existing pricing until January 1st, at which time we would
certainly.
then switch to the new pricing.
Right.
Yeah.
I would agree with that as well. I just think it makes it easier since
everybody.
it's a pass-through
Certainly.
fee, so we certainly don't want to collect
Our
more than, you
Take
know,
off
it's
the
too
top. No, you don't wanna do
soon,
that at
so,
all.
Yeah.
no. So it would make sense for this resolution just to be effective January 1.
Yeah.
So, given that, I am going to make a motion to amend the effective date from December 16th to January 1st.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion of that? So we're going to vote on the amendment. Mr. Krantz, we're
Yep.
going to vote on the amendment, which is to change the effective date from December 16th to January 1st, 2025.
So to vote on the amended resolution, which is essentially just changing the effective date to January 1st, 2025, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The amendment is approved.
All right.
And I also had one more question, and this one is for Mr. Klein. Could you explain the increase in the billing construction management fee?
I think what happened is Harford County actually went through and did an internal audit, DILT, which is Department of Licenses and Permits, and they realized that they were not meeting their expenses with the revenues they were collecting for the fees. So in that regard, they decided to increase all fees relevant to their building process.
So is this one also a Harford County fee?
Which one was that? I'm sorry.
I'm talking about the billing construction management fee. It's the last one listed.
I think that was Kevin's.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
No, that's actually mine.
Oh, okay. Yes, Director Moody. I apologize for directing it to the wrong person. Director Moody, please.
Lisa and I actually worked on this together, and I should have known better.
We did. Maybe, Steve, if you can just talk about the premise behind the fee, and then I'll talk
Yeah.
about the fee itself.
Yeah. This really relates to stormwater management and private stormwater management facilities in town. In some of the homeowner associations, are not able to get together and maintain their facilities in a manner consistent with what they need to do. Therefore, the town goes in and manages that project for them and then ultimately bills them for the cost of doing so. And this fee is related to that. This is our cost. I believe it's an hourly rate, right, Lisa? Our cost, the town's cost to administer that whole process. So from anywhere from my staff going out and making sure that the project is being done correctly, the project was designed correctly, that is in this fee. And then Lisa, you might talk about your end of the bargain.
Yep. Thanks, Steve. So yeah, it sounded like from Steve that we may have one of these projects coming up next fiscal year. So the last time we we billed for stormwater management pond work was 2012. So this fee has not been looked at since 2012. We did, my office did an extensive analysis of time from, the supplies. So billing for, envelopes, our accounts receivable, invoice paper, the postage. What we do with these is we bill the homeowners individually for their portion of the pond repair. In years past, it's fluctuated, projects past, it's fluctuated with the homeowners have wanted to split the total cost over 2 years or 3 years. It's been rare that we've done the reimbursement over a 1-year process. So as Steve said, it's our time into this. I've got basically every staff member who has a piece of this with billing and checking the addresses. You've got to set up the accounts. This is a lienable bill, so it could go into tax sale as well. So throughout that analysis, we determined that with Steve's staff's time and the rest of my staff, that the increase went from $30 to $65. Again, that's since 2012. Sure. So that's 12, and we built in a cushion because we knew it wasn't going to be at this year's rates. It's going to be at next year's rates and next year's costs. So we tried to take that into consideration as well. So we're not far enough along, I don't think, with the homeowners association with knowing whether it'll be billed over a 1-year or 2-year period, or I think even an estimate on the cost. But we wanted to include this in the fee schedule so that we were prepared to have discussions with the homeowners throughout the next 6 months to know what we would do come July. Because in order for it to be the way that Mr. Keenan and the town set it up was for it to be a lienable cost, this invoice went out along with the real estate tax bill. So we have to pull all those real estate tax bills from our third-party processor. We have to create these invoices, and the two must go out at the same time. I hope that answers your question.
It does. My only follow-up to that is, how are these projects initiated? Are these voluntarily entered into agreements between the town and HOAs?
I'm going to turn that back over to Steve.
Absolutely.
So the way it usually works is they have, it's in their deeds that they're responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of that particular pond that services the water emanating from their community. So it is their responsibility to do so. The way the process usually works is that we reach out to them and tell them that we have an estimate here to do the project that will bring your stormwater management into compliance and the cost. Here you go, you can take this and have it done. The majority of the time that goes about a foot, and then it stops, so we don't hear anything. We then follow up with a next letter and says, we need to get this taken care of in a few weeks. If you don't respond, the town is going to do the work for you and bill you accordingly for each house. Now, for example, we received the invoice today, or excuse me, not an invoice, but a proposal of $31,000. So each home in the community in which we're discussing is probably going to be charged $1,000 plus any of our administrative fees, whether they want to make that a one-time thing or break it down into two. We don't know that.
So I guess what I'm asking is the town of Bel Air their only option for completing this work?
No, they can go out and get it done themselves if they wish to.
Okay, that's
Yes.
what I was looking
So
for.
if a group of the guys in the community want to go and repair the fence, for example, in this instance, or go out and rent a bush hog mower and mow a lot of the grass and so forth, and if they have some really handy-dandy people in the neighborhood, they can work on some of the plumbing and so forth that are in the structure. But they do have that option,
Right, okay.
absolutely.
Well, then this seems reasonable to me,
Yep.
so thank you both for
Yep.
your answers.
I actually now have some questions that I didn't have before. Did you say it says $65 per property owner per year? So you'd get an extra $65? as a bill? Or is this $65 an hourly rate?
No, it's per property owner per year.
Okay.
So if they want to be charged that $1,000 that Steve referred to in 1 year, it's 65. If they want to split into two, it's
It'll be 65 and
1 year and
65.
65 in year
Okay.
2.
That is very reasonable. I think
Yeah.
I was the community in 2012. I was very happy that somebody was taking care of the whole thing. I was not happy that my neighbors didn't participate because the next go-round, I participated in their pond. But, you know, I was happy, and I thought that was a very reasonable rate. And I forget, I think we paid $400 a year for
Yeah.
1 year, 2 years, 3 years, I don't know, something like that. But it was not going to crush any homeowner. And I was happy to have, I know the county was also involved in that, because they showed me some of the plans, and they were, it's tough. Montgomery County actually has a different way that they do it, and I have been paying attention to it because I don't think these homeowner associations being in charge of something as important and as technical, that requires an engineering background, the stormwater management ponds, it's just beyond their, you know, skill set. Montgomery County enters in agreements with the HOAs and says, hey, we'll take care of it, and we'll send you a bill, and you pay for it. You're responsible for it, but we'll manage it and run it for you. And as a member of a community that's got, I think we have 2 wet and 1 dry pond, I'm thrilled with that kind of an arrangement, because it is just not something that a homeowners association can handle, unless they're very lucky and they have somebody, you know, on the board or in the neighborhood that has that kind of a background. So I think $65 a year is like a bargain.
I think we've had two different separate situations that we've done in our town with this procedure.
Right. And the problem for our HOA actually is, what I understood was, they probably correctly assumed that if they sent out that bill to the homeowners, they would not get the money back. But there's another way to get that, because it is a lien on the property, and you can be sold at tax sale if you do not pay the governmental entity. So the governmental entity really, it's never made any sense to me, because with the homeowners associations, it just doesn't work that well. They don't have a big enough stick to get the money, and they don't have the in-house expertise to really manage the work.
Yeah.
It seems to me to be a better way to work it, to have the people that are experts manage it, and just have the homeowners, you know, pay the bill. And I think we get it. I was confident then too that we had somebody doing the work that had been vetted and knew what they were doing, as opposed to me hiring the low bidder and finding out they didn't have the expertise necessary. And now I have a larger problem and a bigger bill.
Yes, and with all that said, if a community did indeed feel that they wanted to take on this project themselves, we would definitely lend, professional assistance with them, just to hold their hand through the process, meet out there with them, with their contractor, make sure the contractor's doing it the right way. Because ultimately, we're the ones that said this is the work that needed to be done, and that was caused by an inspection by our staff that said these are the items that need to be fixed or
Right.
corrected. So we know right from the beginning what needs to be done. So we can help somebody
Sure.
with that regard by just stopping out for a half hour and helping out any group.
I just felt more confident that, having worked for the county and knowing the bidding process and all that, okay, we have somebody here who's going to do a good job for a reasonable price, and I can just write my checks to the town and sleep easy at night.
Well, and more than likely, we can also get a better price.
Often, yes.
So it would more than likely, I would think, be cheaper for them, just from a cost perspective.
Right. A little off topic, but now we all understand exactly what this is about. All right. Any other questions about any of the other charges? Most of them are pass-throughs from the county, so, all right.
Like I said at the work session, I think all of these are with an eye towards protecting the taxpayer, which if I'm ever going to vote on a fee, it's got to be because it's protecting the taxpayer, and I think the staff has done a good job at meeting that aim.
I agree, and I don't think that certainly any of the fees that the town is setting are astronomical. they're reasonable for the cost of doing business around here. So we don't have any members of the public here to make a public comment unless Mr. Anderson wanted to comment. No, not interested in this topic. All right, anything else from the board? In that case, I think we are ready to vote on the amended bill.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the vote on amended Resolution 1242-24, with the public hearing scheduled for the 16th. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The resolution is received. Thank you.
All right, next is the contract for the Gateway Drive Sanitary Sewer Pump Station and Force Main upgrades and replacement. May I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move that the bid of Conowago Enterprises, Inc., 660 Edge Grove Road, Hanover, Pennsylvania, 17311, to provide all labor, material, equipment, and supervision to make substantial upgrades to the Gateway Drive Sanitary Pump Station and replace existing force main in accordance with all contract specifications and plans for an amount not to exceed $1,263,000, be accepted by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. May I have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. All right, this is Mr. Klein.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this time, can you stand up and do jumping jacks so you don't fall asleep the next 15 minutes on these floors?
This is the heart of what a government has to provide. If we don't have this service, we are in deep doo-doo, literally.
I just didn't want to bore you out with the sanitary sewer talk, so I'm very into it. Big contracts.
Go for it. Let's hear it.
Thank you. The Gateway Drive Pump Station was originally built by Hartford Mall and taken over by the town in the early 1900s. Many of its components are old, outdated, and need upgrading at this time. The Gateway Drive Pumping Station is located approximately 80 feet northwest of the intersection of Gateway Drive and Blum Court. The station collects the sewage from 147 residential condominium properties, 9 commercial properties, and pumps it uphill approximately 1,100 feet to a manhole next to Hartford Mall. The procurement posted contract, DPW 080924, on the town's website, resulting in 2 bids. Conowago Enterprises submitted the lowest bid. The base contract bid will be funded through the American Rescue Project Act in the sewer budget, while any change orders will be funded independently in the sewer budget. KCI, the engineer responsible for designing these upgrades, estimated the project's cost at approximately $1,299,000, giving the staff confidence that the town has received a competitive bid. The not-to-exceed amount requested includes a 10% contingency, which equals $115,131 on the base contract bid of $1,147,869. The project involves the complete removal and replacement of the existing pump station. Key tasks include plugging and abandoning the current force main pipes using flowable fill, demolishing the existing service rack, and decommissioning the electrical lines. A new pre-packaged, pre-assembled pump station will be installed, featuring submersible pumps, a precast concrete pump chamber with an integrated valve vault structure, a slide rail pump removal system, discharging piping with necessary supports and fittings, discharge check and plug valves, access hatches, a valve vault, access ladder, liquid level controls, a duplex pump, control panel, internal wiring, and associated components. In addition, a new 4-inch force main will be constructed. A lot of information there, but I just wanted to make sure everybody knew this was a big project and lots is happening. The staff recommends the bid of Conowago Enterprises to provide all labor, material, equipment, and supervision to make substantial upgrades to the Gateway Drive Pump Station and replace the existing force main in accordance with all contract specifications and plans for an amount not to exceed $1,263,000, be accepted by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Klein.
Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Klein on this project?
Yes, Mr. Klein. What's your experience with Conowago? And have you
We
worked
have
with them
not-
before? How have you?
We have not utilized this company before. We did receive several good recommendations that they do good work, and they're a good company, and they're on time.
Okay.
So we feel confident about that. I hope so, because we got a good bid on this project, the result of them only having to mobilize one time because they're already been approved to do our Shamrock Road pump station. So, you know, they'll be here in
Right.
town at the same time, working on both projects, which I think benefits us. We
Okay.
got a very good KCI engineering firm that will be overseeing it, and I feel good, Steve, about making sure that this
Okay.
project is going to go in the right direction.
Right.
Yep.
Good, I mean, it's a big price tag, 1.2.
It sure is a big one.
So it's like, yeah, want
And
to make sure.
We're gonna
1.3.
definitely be on our game, I can tell you,
Right.
making sure that it goes. We have some really good sewer guys that I know are gonna be looking over the shoulder at all times. We got some good engineering guys, and, we're all gonna work together to make sure that the project turns out to be success.
Right, okay.
Right. Anything else from the board? Mr. Klein? I just remember being very nervous about the big construction project undertaken during COVID. And I waited for the, delays and the cost overruns, the increase in materials, and none of them ever materialized. So it's, if you have the right people running the project,
Good.
it'll go smoothly. So
Yeah,
I'm
you're right.
crossing my fingers for this one too.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have as many problems as the last one could have had, so. All right.
Director Klein, could I
Yes.
just, one
Yes, sir.
follow-up there? So could you just explain what the breakdown of, what is the 10% contingency on the base contract bid? What's that all about? Is that a cost overrun provision or what?
Yes, yes, absolutely. As well as, for example, another item that is not included in this that goes into a contingency is, for example, we're putting in 17 streetlights, and we had a contingency on that, or, excuse me, we put in a water line on the Shamrock and the Gateway Drive pump station. That cost about $21,000. Work wasn't included in the bid or anything. We had to make that contract with Maryland American Water to put in a 1-inch water sewer service. So that's how we use that contingency. But basically, it is a 10% markup of the bidded price.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, any other questions? Okay, Mr. Krantz, we're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the vote to award the award of contract for the Gateway Drive sanitary sewer pump station upgrades, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The contract is approved. Thank you.
All right. Next, we have the contract for the construction phase services for the Gateway Drive sanitary sewer pump station and force main upgrades and replacement. May I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move that the hourly labor rate bid of KCI Technologies, 1354 Marrows Road, Suite 100, Newark, Delaware, 19711, as provided to and accepted by Howard County Government under the contract number of 4400004866, be utilized by the town to enter into a contract to oversee the construction phase of the Gateway Drive sanitary sewer pump station and force main replacement project in the amount of $42,209.22, be accepted by the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Mr. Klein.
Thank you, Madam Chair. KCI Technologies developed the design specifications and plans for the Gateway Drive sewage pump station upgrades and force main replacement, which served as the basis for the project bidding process. The contract for the upgrades is being awarded to Conowago Enterprises of Hanover, Pennsylvania, and just approved by the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners at tonight's meeting. Given KCI's role in designing the project, it is logical to have their engineers oversee the rehabilitation and replacement to ensure the work meets their standard. The town has the opportunity to piggyback on the pricing secured by Howard County government. According to the town's procurement regulations, competitive bids obtained by other Maryland jurisdictions can be utilized for purchasing goods and services. Funding for this phase of the Gateway Drive pump station upgrades and force main replacement will be sourced from the American Rescue Plan Act in the Sewer Fund. As part of this phase of the project, KCI Enterprises will handle the pre-construction meeting, review all required shop drawings submitted by the contractor, and respond to requests for information. They will also review proposed change orders, provide technical assistance, including troubleshooting and testing, and prepare a punch list after construction to ensure all deficiencies are addressed. Additionally, KCI will attend monthly progress meetings and collaborate closely with town staff to ensure a high-quality rehabilitation project. Staff recommends the hourly labor rate bid of KCI Technologies as provided to and accepted by Howard County government be utilized by the town to enter a contract to oversee the construction phase of the Gateway Drive sanitary sewer pumping station and force main replacement project in the amount of $42,209.22 be accepted by the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions for Director Klein? I'm looking at the attached letter that's in here, and page 5 references the Shamrock Pump Station upgrade.
Uh-oh, sounds like they didn't change the word.
And I think, yeah, because the rest of it looks like it's got the correct references to the Gateway Drive. The other thing that I see in here is that on page 4, it says they estimate the fee is $41,562.50, and we have a number that's a little higher than that, $700, something like that.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
reason for the amount is on that same, bless you, on that same page under
Okay.
direct expenses
Okay.
and charges
I see it.
is the
Okay.
646.72.
All right, so the two of those will add up to
Add
the
up.
42,209. Great. Yeah, and I think that pump station reference to Shamrock is just a artifact
Yeah.
from using the same papers.
Would just scraping that out and writing in Gateway Drive Pump Station work for this contract, do you think? Or should I have them redo?
Well,
We'll get a new page.
I'm gonna leave that to Liz and you all to
Okay.
figure out,
It's
but,
We'll definitely get that taken care of.
I think it's just, I don't think it's substantive, I think it is
No,
just.
it doesn't affect anything on our end.
No, it doesn't. All right. All right, any more questions? It's always something. All right, in that case, Mr. Krantz, I
Okay,
think we're
thank
ready.
you, Madam Chair. For the vote for the award of contract for construction phase services for the Gateway Drive Sanitary Sewer Pump Station Upgrades Project, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye,
Contract is approved. Thank you.
thank you. All right, next up, we have the bulk road salt contract. Can I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that agreement number 25-098 and any subsequent addendums between Eastern Salt Company Incorporated, 134 Middle Street, Lowell, Massachusetts, and Harford County Government to supply bulk road de-icing salt for $63.83 per ton be accepted by the Board of Bel Air Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. And again, Director Klein.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The town uses bulk road salt to manage ice and snow on 41 miles of streets, alleys, and parking lots. During an average winter, public work crews typically spread between 400 to 600 tons of road salt. Funding in the amount of $35,750 for the purchase of bulk road salt has been allocated in the street section of the Public Works FY 2025 budget. The town has the advantage of piggybacking on prices secured by Harford County government under bid number 25-098 and its subsequent renewals. This agreement is set to expire on May 31st, 25, with an option to renew for up to 4 additional one-year terms. Given the volatility of this commodity, the county allows for price adjustments, both increases and decreases, by mutual agreement during renewal process. This year, the county issued a bid for rock salt as the 5-year period was currently up and procured a price of $63.83 per ton, which was a reduction from last year's rate of $71.50 a ton, which is a good savings, because it had been going up year after year. The staff recommends that Agreement 25098 and any subsequent addendums between Eastern Salt Company and Harford County government to supply bulk road de-icing salt for $63.83 per ton be accepted by the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. Does anyone have any questions about this contract?
So if I did the math right, this will give us about 560 ton. Because you said we usually use between 400 and 600, so I was
Yeah.
just wondering, I hope we're on the higher side, just for budgeting purposes.
So, Steve, if we don't get a bit of snow this year, we won't spend any.
Right, but,
Yeah.
I mean, but the
Yeah.
approval amount, the approved amount of, what was it, 34,
Yeah.
is for about, is at the higher end of that, toward
Yeah,
that
yeah.
600 mark.
Yeah, so I'd just take the amount per ton and usually do it by 500 tons.
Okay.
For a good estimation.
Okay.
There has been years where we've gone over, and more often than not, we've gone under some.
Right.
All right, any further questions for Director Klein?
There's a rumor out that we might need this Sunday during the parade, the salt contract. Not for any snow purposes, but for some other activities that I heard might be happening.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Are we ready for the vote? All right, we're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the vote on the bulk road salt contract. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye?
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Contract is approved. Thank you.
All right, next up is the street lighting contract for the Thomas Street Streetscape Project. May I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the proposal of BGE P.O. Box 1475, Baltimore, Maryland, to provide all labor, material, equipment, and supervision to install 17 street lights along the Thomas Street Improvements Project in the amount of $64,171 be accepted by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. And again, Mr. Klein.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Several years ago, the Economic and Community Development Commission identified Thomas Street along Howard Park as a revitalization priority. The project aimed to connect neighborhoods and commercial areas through streetscape improvements, focusing on reducing vehicle speeds, discouraging cut-through and truck traffic, enhancing landscaping, improving stormwater management, and upgrading bicycle and pedestrian amenities. The plan, developed through public meetings and conceptual designs, included the installation of 17 new streetlights to enhance security and visibility. The town is using sole source procurement for the street lighting component of the Thomas Street project. This decision is based on Baltimore Gas and Electric being the longstanding supplier and maintainer of the town street lighting infrastructure. The project will be funded using American Rescue Plan Act monies. The Thomas Street Improvement Project includes the installation of 17 energy-efficient 100-watt LED acorn-type lights mounted on 12-foot fiberglass poles. To minimize disruption, underground wiring will be installed using directional boring rather than traditional open trenching methods. Staff recommends the proposal of BGE to provide all labor, material, equipment, and supervision to install 17 street lights along the Thomas Street Improvement Projects in the amount of $64,171 be accepted by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. Any questions?
I do have a question. This description of the 100-watt LED acorn-type lights, do we have any other of those type of lights already in town, or is this something new for us?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
It's the same, I believe it's the same fixture that you'll see on, like, Office Street that we just did and so forth like that. So they'll kind of go down Office Street and match going down Thomas.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Appreciate
Yep.
that.
Not 100% sure, Jim, but I believe that they're also the same as, or similar in style to the Main Street lights. Yeah.
All right, that should look very attractive. Any other questions? All right, there being no members of the public here, Mr. Krantz?
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the award of the contract to install street lighting for the Thomas Street Improvements Project, Phase 1 and 2, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Contract is approved. Thank you.
All right, next we have the appointment to the Appearance and Beautification Committee of Christy Sudbrink. May I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the reappointment of Christy Sudbrink to the Bel Air Appearance and Beautification Committee for a term of 4 years, effective immediately, be approved by the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Do I have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. Any discussion of Ms. Sudbrink?
None other than to say that Christy is the treasurer of the committee. She does an excellent job. She was just at Town Hall for the presentation of the ABC Annual Awards, and we are certainly looking forward to having her on the committee for another 4 years.
I really look forward to those awards every year. I love seeing the houses and the changes. I mean, it's just remarkable what people can do. And I think it's a great thing to, encourage that sort of activity in the town and recognize it. So she's a great addition. Anything else? All right, we're ready to vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the reappointment of Christy Sudbrink to the ABC Committee, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The reappointment is approved. Thank you.
All right, next we have the appointment to the Committee for the Seniors and Citizens in Need of Deborah Hanley. May I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move that the reappointment for Deborah T. Hanley to the Bel Air Committee for Seniors and Citizens in Need for a term of 3 years, effective immediately, be approved by the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Chance. May I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. Any discussion of Ms. Hanley?
I would just simply like to say that she's served on the committee for a number of years already and has done a remarkable job in bringing to the committee the needs that she sees in her professional life as well.
I think she's a real asset because
She is.
she does work in the field every
She
day.
does.
It's a great thing to have on the
She does.
committee.
Right, I agree. I think we're fortunate to have her because, like you said, her day job, she understands the needs
She does.
and challenges of the seniors and citizens in need, and she brings a lot to the table for us, so
We
I
are
highly
blessed in
recommend
that committee to have a number of people who
Yeah.
work in that field,
Mhm.
and so they really do bring a lot to the
Right.
group.
That committee has really been
Yep.
like reinvigorated with all
Yes.
the new members on there that have that background, so that's great. All right, we're ready.
Okay. This is for the reappointment of Deborah Hanley to the Committee for Seniors and Citizens in Need. Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Reappointment is approved. Thank you.
And our last appointment for this evening is the appointment to the Tree Committee of Michael Simony. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the reappointment of Michael Simony to the Bel Air Tree Committee for a term of 3 years, effective immediately, be approved by the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Chismar. And I know Mike has been on the board for a number of years and has been a great asset. He's very committed to trees, works like a dog for Arbor Day and the opening of the farmer's market, so I'm thrilled that he is willing to continue to serve. He's also the chair of the committee, so great asset. Anything else? All right, we're ready.
Yeah.
For the vote for the reappointment of Michael Simony to the Tree Committee, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye. Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
Reappointment is approved. Thank you.
All right, and now, public announcements. Join us this Sunday, December the 8th, for the 34th Annual Bel Air Christmas Parade and Tree Lighting Celebration. The parade on Main Street begins at 3:30 p.m., followed by a celebration for the community in Shamrock Park at 4:15 p.m. Come enjoy a bonfire, hot chocolate, food vendors, and a holiday concert, capped off with the ceremonial lighting of our new town Christmas tree at 5 p.m. The weather will have to be rotten for this to be canceled, which last happened in 2019. But the last go or no-go call will be made at noon, and if the weather is bad, you can Find out what the decision has been on the town's webpage, as well as the Downtown Alliance's Facebook page and the town's Facebook page. So we're hoping for good weather. The Christmas Train Garden, which is open to the community on Fridays and Saturdays through December 14th, will be open on Sunday as well, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the Mount Ararat Lodge at 136 East Gordon Street, right across from St. Margaret's. The holiday season in Bel Air is in full swing. Visit christmasinbelair.com website for all the information you need about holiday events happening in the town, including Winter Wonderland's light displays, horse-drawn carriage rides through downtown, and visits with Santa Claus at the Harford County Courthouse, all of which are free. The Bel Air Farmers Market is shifted to its winter market schedule as of November 30th. The market is open from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Saturdays through December 21st in the Mary E.W. Ristow Building parking lot at South Bond and Thomas Street. Visit their website or social media pages for more information. Main Street will be closed between 4:30 and 9:30 p.m. on Saturday, December 7th for Winter Wonderland events. People can also visit the Winter Wonderland Market at the Bel Air Armory on that day between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. Check out the many artisan vendors for your holiday gift shopping. The Bel Air Community Band will perform its winter concert on Sunday, December the 8th at Bel Air High School. The concert begins at 3 p.m. and admission is free. The Bel Air Downtown Alliance will host the Bel Air Holiday Market from 9 a.m. until noon on Saturday, December 7th, 14th, and 21st in the parking lot next to Das Beer Hall at 121 South Main Street. This is another great opportunity to support artisan vendors as you shop for holiday gifts. The Hartford Artists Association is hosting its holiday open house at the Hartford Artists Gallery in Armory Marketplace behind the Bel Air Armory. The open house will be Saturday, December 7th and 14th, and Sunday, December 8th and 15th from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. Check out A Magical Motown Christmas featuring the voices of classic soul performing your favorite Motown hits at the Armory on Sunday, December 15th. The concert begins at 5 p.m. and tickets can be purchased online through Eventbrite. The Planning Commission will meet at 6 p.m. on Thursday, December the 5th in Town Hall. The Appearance and Beautification Committee will meet at 7 p.m. on Monday, December 9th in Town Hall. The Tree Committee will meet at 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, December the 11th in the Bel Air Planning Department at 705 East Churchville Road. The Board of Town Commissioners will hold a work session on Tuesday, December 10th at 4:30 p.m. here in Town Hall, which is a change from our usual 5:15 p.m. meeting time. And the next town meeting will be Monday, December 16th at 7 p.m. We will host a special closing ceremony for the Bel Air 150th Anniversary Time Capsule on the 16th at that meeting. The Town of Bel Air Municipal Citizens Academy will start on January the 29th, 2025, with graduation on March the 17th, 2025. The 7-week academy will introduce town residents to municipal government with presentations on all aspects of town government. For more information, call 410-638-4554 and look for additional information coming soon to our town website. I think everybody has to go to the Christmas in Bel Air website because there is so much going on, it's impossible to list it all. And I know we've missed something, Director Robertson.
There is just one correction I'd like to make. The Bel Air Community Band Winter Concert at the high school is December 15th, not the 8th, because everyone will be at the parade on the 8th. Did you see me, like, looking? So,
That is an important correction.
thank you.
Nothing can compete with the parade. Nothing could compete with the parade. All right, so that will complete public announcements, and we have no public here to make public comments, so now we are up to commissioners' comments. And I hear Christmas music for a minute there.
My only comment is, and I didn't mention this last time, although I noticed it on the way out, the crest behind us looks absolutely fantastic. So hats off to the planning department. Excellent decision-making. I know we all agreed on that. I think it looks great. It really ties the room together. It's been a little bit awkward to just have that empty pole sticking out of the brick wall behind us. So this looks a little bit more dignified and really gives Town Hall the oomph that it deserves. So well done.
It's beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful. It's a perfect backdrop for photos. I did have two things to mention. One is that tomorrow evening, the Cub Scouts will be here at 6:30 p.m. and Commissioner Chismar will be here, as well as Mr. Krantz. If anyone else would like to join them and keep them company from the board, they'd be thrilled to have some additional folks to meet with the Cub Scouts as they work through their citizenship requirements. And the other thing is that Winter Wonderland on Saturday was very well attended. It was very cold, but if you dressed for the weather, which I did, layers, wool socks, boots, hat, the whole 9 yards, it was beautiful, and there were a lot of people walking around. The hot chocolate was great, just what you needed on such a chilly night, and the lights were beautiful. So it looks like it's off to a good start.
Yep.
Anything else?
Yep. And the train garden was, I visited downtown and went to the train garden, and they have the treasure hunt, which is great for the kids to find out all, in the display, all the things that are there. And they also had hot dogs and apple cider and what else? I think, did they have popcorn there? I can't remember. They had several things there for people to, and it was all, I understand it was free. So
Wow.
come and grab a little lunch there and
there were
watch
also
the trains.
There were also a few food trucks around, and
Yeah.
some people were known to visit Cozy Cookies, just,
Right.
for the walk home. We walked up, we walked home, we got a few cookies. It was a very seasonal kind of experience. And even though it was cold, it wasn't windy, so it wasn't terribly miserable. But you had to dress for it. All right, anything else? In that case, may I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
And do I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor? Aye. We stand adjourned.